Okay, good evening, everybody. My name is Sarkis Oganessian. I am the Assistant Director of Public Works and the City Engineer for the City of Glendale Public Works Department, and I'd like to welcome you to the community meeting for the Glendale Los Angeles Garden River Bridge project on February 25th, 2026, being called to order at 6:11 p.m. This meeting is open to in-person attendance and is also being streamed live and recorded on youtube.com/MyGlendale. For more information regarding this project, you can always go to gardenriverbridge.com. We'd also like to make a noteworthy mention of Mr. Eric Moon, who is the field representative of Congresswoman Laura Friedman, and we welcome him to this meeting as well. So public comments and questions will be welcome after we present a brief project overview. To provide your comments and ask questions regarding this project, please feel free to submit a speaker card if you are attending in person tonight, or you can always call 818-937-8100 if you are viewing remotely and would like to call in. Public comments and questions related to this project will be recorded and responded to separately through the project webpage after this community meeting. With me tonight are members of our consultant design and outreach team, Biggs Cardosa and Associates, and Ariano and Associates. Now, I would like to turn the meeting over to Mr. Eric Pfeiffer, who has a few presentation slides and details for the project, and will share them with you tonight. Mr. Pfeiffer?
Great, thank you, Mr. Oganessian. And we are excited to have you here either in person or on the live stream to learn more about the project. You may have been following it for many years, or it may be new to you. So the hope here is to go over a little bit of project background, where we were, where we are today, and where we're heading. A couple housekeeping items here. The meeting is being recorded and it'll be posted on the project website. Spanish and Armenian interpreters are available for in-person attendees. Spanish and Armenian slide copies are available at the registration table. Public comments and or questions are not accepted during the presentation. We'll have the formal session after. And as Sarkis mentioned, there is a phone number you can call in to as well, or submit your questions to info@gardenriverbridge.com. The agenda here, the timing, we allotted a longer time for this, but the presentation will be a bit shorter. I'm not sure anyone wants to hear me speak for 45 minutes, so we'll try to keep it short and sweet, but really show you a lot of the details of the design and what's planned for this project, and then open it up to public comments. So let's start with the background, location, stakeholders, schedule, and funding. As I mentioned, I'm sure many of you have been following this for many years. It was back in 2015 that a series of workshops were hosted to develop the Garden River theme. We also attended the Let's Go Glendale event in May of last year, and have presented at a few city council meetings, but today is really a big milestone public meeting for the environmental document comment period. Starting with the location, so this is located at the bend in the Los Angeles River. It borders the city of Glendale and the city of Los Angeles, and will connect the city of Glendale to resources on the Los Angeles side, such as the Ferraro Athletic Fields, the LA Zoo, Autry Museum, and there's really a lot of users that this will benefit. Not only Glendale businesses and residents, we know there's Disney's Grand Central campus is right around the corner, and this could provide access to the fields and to some of the facilities on the Los Angeles side. And so it's really an ideal location for this crossing, and it was studied for many years and determined that this was really the preferred location for this pedestrian and cyclist bridge. Zooming in a little bit on the bend and exactly where the bridge will go, it's at the corner of Flower Street and Fairmont Avenue on the Glendale side, and then it will cross over the LA River to Zoo Drive and the Ferraro Fields and a few other amenities over there, and generally, it connects Glendale to Los Angeles, but it also is going to connect the Glendale Narrows Riverwalk to the LA River bike path. Phase 2 of the Riverwalk went over that inlet on the top of your screen there and down to the park. And now this phase 3 is going to provide connectivity across the river. It'll also really help cyclists and pedestrians who want to access from the Glendale side to the Los Angeles side. So not only just connecting the bike paths, but providing access between the two cities. This is by no means a comprehensive list of the stakeholders. There are many, many, many stakeholders involved, but wanted to highlight a few that have been very active thus far in delivering the project, assisting with the project, reviewing the project. So the City of Glendale is carrying out the project. They are the lead agency under the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, and will also be delivering the construction contract and getting this thing built. Most of the project is in City of Los Angeles right-of-way. So the City of LA has been very active in their reviews, their coordination with City of Glendale and our consultant team. There are LADWP facilities, high voltage transmission towers overhead that connect to the Glendale Water and Power facilities. Most of the project is located in a zone that's controlled by Recreation and Parks. So LA RAP has been very involved. LADOT has had some input on the LA River bike path. And the Bureau of Engineering is helping us lead the charge with some of the reviews and executing agreements. In terms of the LA River itself, there is a small portion that's LA County Flood Control District that we'll coordinate with. But really, this section is managed by the United States Army Corps of Engineers LA District. So they've been an active participant in the project. We presented to them at the LARCC, Los Angeles River Cooperation Committee, a few times. I think it was October of last year that we got the recommendation from LARCC to proceed with the project. And then also the Assembly and State Senate districts and the Council districts 4 and 13. So the current project schedule, we've circulated the CEQA initial study. We hope to complete the CEQA process in summer of this year. Following completion of the environmental process, that's now what we need to go and get permits from Army Corps, from California Department of Fish and Wildlife, all the agencies that we would need to get permits from to be able to construct the project. So the goal is to start that immediately after environmental clearance and get that done by fall of 2027, concurrently with completing final design so that this project can then go out to bid. Once the project's out to bid, we're looking at awarding the construction contract in spring of 2028, and then construction would take approximately 2 years to complete. So construction completion would be targeted for 2030. The project's funded by a few different sources. Proposition 68, which was the city working with then Assembly member Laura Friedman's office, now Congress member, helped to secure a lot of the funding for the project, and Prop 68 is funding a big portion of it. The project's also funded by the 2015 Call for Projects and Assembly Bill 170. That covers the background. Let's talk a little bit about the details of the design, how the bridge will be utilized and accessed, and what this may look like. This shows you a top-down site plan just to orient everybody. North is to the right, so we flipped a little bit to get the whole bridge in view. So it's a curvilinear concrete structure, a little over 300 feet long, and it'll have 2 piers within the Los Angeles River. On the left of the screen, or the south side, there's a overlook with stairs that run down to Zoo Drive. There'll be a raised crosswalk there to ensure pedestrian safety as you're crossing to the fields. And then there's also a ramp that you'll see on the bottom left of your screen, and that's to ensure that we have ADA, or Americans with Disabilities Act, access to and from the bridge. On the bridge itself, you'll see the width tapers pretty significantly. So the idea is to provide access for maintenance vehicles to get on this bridge, for cyclists and for pedestrians to have dedicated spaces to be able to move about freely. On the bottom of the screen will be the dedicated bike path. And then the areas with the green, where you see the trees, some planter areas, that would be the pedestrian areas to walk through. If I highlight some of those key spaces, the idea is to make this bridge a garden over the LA River, and thus it was dubbed the Garden River Bridge. There will be areas for seating. There'll be shaded canopies, places not to just cross the LA River immediately, but to meander, to sit, to enjoy some shade, enjoy the LA River, wayfinding signage, signage about the history of the LA River. And then on the south side, we're looking at an overlook that overlooks the field. an entry plaza, that raised crosswalk I was mentioning. And then on the north side, on the Glendale side, or the right of your screen here, there'll be a perched area that will be great for meeting up with friends and congregating, et cetera. So a lot of unusual, unique features for this bridge that make it more than just a bridge, and thus the Garden River Bridge. Because the plantings are so substantial here, I want to just quickly highlight a few of the species that our landscape architect has been looking at for trees on the approaches, for shrubs in the planter areas, and for vines on some of the canopies. So these are native to California. All of them are aligned with the LA River Master Plan. So a lot of thought and detail has gone into selecting tree species that will work well for this bridge. Shrubs in the planter areas will be varied and low water, easy to maintain, also in line with the LA River Master Plan. And then vines will be used to grow up on the canopies that I'll show some renderings of in a second to ensure some shade for folks who are enjoying the areas under the canopies. There'll be a number of furnishings too. On the top right, you can see a rendering of what one of the benches might look like for one of the planter areas. There'll be a sun deck area in the middle for seating. There'll be some water fountains, bike racks if folks want to bike to this bridge and then sit in the canopied areas instead of just cross it. So a lot of furnishings and architectural elements that are going into making this a really unique bridge. This shows a rendering of one of two types of the canopies and shade structures. This has been studied since 2015. We went to City Council about a year and a half or 2 years ago to refine the canopies and get some guidance on what council and residents would like to see. And the design that we resulted in was a metal structure, architectural like this, but with vines growing on them. It looks a little bit like trees. It's hard to plant trees on bridges, so this kind of gives you that feel of trees on the bridge where it's more difficult to plant real trees, and provides that much needed shade as you're crossing the LA River. The other type are these linear canopies with a bit of a curve to them. Again, they'll have vines on them. These are more located towards the center of the bridge, and you can see that sun deck area in the middle with some seating. So these two canopy types and canopy structures throughout the bridge are meant to give it some vertical life and some shade. There will be lighting on the bridge. This will not be open 24/7. We are working on the details with LA and with Glendale on when the opening hours will be, but they'll generally align with the bike paths. But for the times where the paths are lighted, the LA River Bike Path and the Glendale Narrows Riverwalk, there will also be lighting on the bridge. It's all designed to be low-level lighting that's not going to create a bunch of light spillover. The canopies themselves will have some down lighting there to make sure that they're visible and they light up the pedestrian paths. Some of the photos that you see around the renderings, or around the rendering in the bottom left, are samples of where this has been done elsewhere, so you can kind of get a feel for what this looks like in real life. Same thing here with the bicycle and the pedestrian paths. The left is a plan view that shows the bike path in orange on the right and the pedestrian path on the left. Both will be lit to ensure safety during operating hours where the sun will not be out. And we're looking at a combination of linear lights, railing lights, spotlights, things of that nature to make sure that this is well lit and safe for all users. So project status, where are we now and what are the next steps? So we're currently in the environmental document phase. The draft ISM&D, Initial Study Mitigated Negative Declaration, has been circulated for public review. That was all done in conformance with CEQA, posted on Glendale's website, on CEQA's website, and on our project website, gardenriverbridge.com. We're in the process of receiving comments and addressing those. What will then result is the final CEQA ISM&D will be circulated to address any comments received during the public review period. Following the completion of the CEQA process, again hoping for summer of this year, we'll go after those permit applications with Army Corps, California Department of Fish and Wildlife, the Regional Water Quality Board, and get all the permitting in place necessary to be able to advertise this for bid. Concurrently, we'll complete final design, release the notice inviting bids to potential contractors, and then commence the construction phase of the project. In terms of our outreach notification efforts, we've sent e-blasts. 4 emails were sent in English, Spanish, Armenian. to promote this community meeting and to notify folks of the public review period. The notification toolkit was distributed to 55 different organizations to make sure that we reach the widest range possible who may be interested in providing comments or just staying informed about the project. Those include different agencies, CBOs, community-based organizations, educational institutes, tribes, and interested parties. On social media, we prepared some multilingual graphics and posted those on the City of Glendale's Instagram, Facebook, X, I still call it Twitter, and Instagram stories. And there was a community meeting flyer that was developed in multiple languages that was posted on the project website. We'll continue to conduct outreach efforts, keep the website updated as the project progresses and we get closer to environmental clearance than to construction. And we look forward to continuing to work with the public, the residents and businesses of Glendale and other adjacent cities to continue progressing this project forward. I will turn it over to Sarkis now to host the public comment session.
Thank you, Eric. We'd also like to thank everybody in the audience and everybody joining us tonight virtually for this project. As a reminder, you can visit the project webpage at any time, gardenriverbridge.com. That's www.gardenriverbridge.com for further details on this project. And the presentation that you saw tonight or didn't get a chance to see will be posted on that webpage come tomorrow morning. So now we'd like to welcome our viewers' comments and questions regarding the project. To do so, and if you already haven't, please submit a speaker card to the front, and we'd be more than happy to take your comments or your questions. If you are viewing remotely, we'll be taking comments and questions after the speakers in-house. And as a reminder, please call in at 818-937-8100 to save your space in line. Each caller or speaker will have approximately 3 minutes to ask their question or provide their comments. We'll time the speaker and inform you once your time is up. We ask that you be mindful and respect that time limit. I have a couple speaker cards in front of me. I'll start in the order that was received, and excuse me if I don't get your name correctly. First speaker for the evening, we'd like to welcome Aharon Nizari. Did I get that right? Come on up.
Aaron Nizani.
Come on up, Mr. Nizari.
I'm a biker. I live up in Glendale and travel along the LA River very frequently, as late as last weekend. Thank you very much. This is very, very essential for us from Glendale to move into and along the LA River is very complicated. And usually I do it on the current bridge that goes just nearby, that goes from Glendale and the traffic there and the infrastructure and the side of the road and the bridge, the access to the bridge itself is deplorable. So I beg you, in addition to what you do here, you spend a lot of money, spend a little bit more and allow for bikers to go over the bridge or to access the bridge for the period until the 2030. Okay, this is note number one. Note number two, we suffer tremendously from graffiti along the pathway. This is not your problem, this is our problem. What type of processes or structures are you going to have on the new bridge to minimize this problem?
Thank you. Do you want to go over the graffiti problem real quick? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so thank you for your comments. I'll address the graffiti portion. So a few of the things we're looking at are both anti-graffiti coating, which allows graffiti to be cleaned easier after it collects. But the potentially more promising one is using a texture on the concrete. You see fractured fin all over the place, but there are other form liners and textures that make it a difficult surface to graffiti and deter graffiti. So we're looking at anything except for plain concrete in an effort to deter the graffiti. If you look up, I don't have a photo handy here, but if you look up fractured fin, you'll see it all over the state. That's one of the form liner textures that really helps deter graffiti. So we are looking at measures like that to either make graffiti removal easy with the coating or to try to deter the ability to graffiti because of the roughness of the surface.
There will also be a financial commitment from both cities of Los Angeles and Glendale for annual maintenance and routine maintenance of the bridge. So if we see something that's out of order, such as graffiti, we will definitely be able to dispatch our crews to take care of that at that time. Okay, our next speaker is Stefan Weber. Mr. Weber, come on up.
Good evening. I've been a bicyclist for about 70 years. I'm 83 years old. I still ride my bike. I rode it in the Brand Park yesterday. I'm very interested in this. I've already sent in a comment about graffiti, and I see that you're addressing it. Another way to address it is to put up the screening and have plants that grow up. And more of my concern, because I ride the river walk or river bike path frequently, and it's called a bike path, but there's people with their dogs and their strollers and every kind of usage, and I see this bridge is going to be the same way. One of my concerns as I look over the plan, you have a blind corner where anybody going southbound on the Riverwalk on the Glendale side is going to have, and making a right turn, there's some trees that the plans here show. I think that sight lines should be taken into consideration in putting these together to avoid accidents with children and bicycles going in various directions. There currently is a similar problem where if you use the Riverside Drive bridge to get onto the bike path on the Los Angeles side, you have to make a right turn, go down, make a U-turn, go back underneath it, and there's traffic going back and forth sometimes in bicycles, and it creates congestion and possible danger. And right in that same area, and I'm glad you mentioned lighting, another concern I have is that the lamps have been damaged. People that are living along that area well, basically we call them homeless, apparently don't like the lights at night, so they have damaged them, pulled the wires out, and knocked them down, and some of them have been down for some lengthy period of time. And of course, I bring your attention to the 6th Street Bridge in Los Angeles, which has suffered, I guess, millions of dollars worth of damage but certainly several $100,000, I guess, from lights being pulled. So that should be another concern that should be addressed, is armoring these lights so they can't be damaged so easily. Another concern I have is where are you going to get the people that are going to be using this? You've got the business park of it's mostly Disney. You've got the water and power, but those aren't family facilities. The current Riverwalk on the Glendale side comes along, it goes underneath the freeway, the Golden State Freeway, and continues on. It's not very attractive. It isn't a bike path that's going to encourage a lot of people to come down it unless it is also improved and landscaped in conjunction with this bridge. And as you've noticed, it's gone now, but the map shows it coming on at Flower Street, which if you were looking at Flower Street, to your right, you've got DW or Glendale Water and Power. To your left, you've got the business park. You may have to even take into consideration parking if you're going to get people to come to use that place. I could go on and have a whole page of comments, but I'll submit them in writing later.
Yes, please do. Please submit whatever comments you have, and we'll definitely be able to address them. Next up, we have Mike Borisov.
Hi, good evening. My name is Mike Borisov. I've been following this project for a couple of years now, since 2021, and I'm really excited to see this coming to fruition. I'm really hoping this EIR and secret process goes by smoothly, and both the City of LA and the City of Glendale approve it. I particularly like the canopy idea. It kind of reminds me of the Singapore airport a little bit, where they have like the metal trees and they have the lights on it. So it's really nice. I personally don't bike, but I do walk a lot, and this is located next to the number 12 Glendale Beeline bus and the number 94 Metro bus, I believe. So it offers a great way to actually cross the river safely without the emissions from the freeway right below you, and in safe environments. So there's separate pedestrian and biking paths, which is just wonderful. Yeah, this is a great project. I was really expecting, a NIMBY turnout, so thankfully no such craziness thus far. I'm sure council and this project will eventually face that. My advice I would offer, talk about community benefit, maybe just a tad bit more, maybe the connections and the locations. You kind of mentioned those 4 destinations, kind of talking about why people want to go to these places by walking instead of just driving and using the freeway. It might encourage council to kind of see the bigger vision. And as you mentioned, there was a class 3 bike lane coming up San Fernando, I believe. So that would connect to the larger bicycle master plan for the city of Glendale if it ever comes to fruition in a full build out. So this is exciting. I think in the future, whenever it happens, maybe I'll be like 60 years old when California Has to Be Real finishes finally. You'll be able to see the train coming down when you're on this project. But yeah, it's beautiful. This is literally going to be our version of the 6th Street Bridge, but hopefully without the whole lighting issues and graffiti issues. It's a great project. Thank you for your work.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Liz Radley.
Good evening. Is the clock going to go back to 0? Thank you. We all know this is a great idea, so I'm just going to focus on what I think might be the challenges given the time constraints. One is, have you had an opportunity to consult with the police department as to how they might most effectively have some kind of surveillance to see what statistics might be generated? Because you're bound to get patterns of people. We know there's going to be tremendous vandalism because it already exists on the Riverside Bridge, where you heard that the power is pulled out actually to provide power, unsafe power, to people living in that area. There's likely to be difficulties where you have easy places to hide, and I would think you might want to consider making it so that someone in law enforcement who might drive across there seeking someone will have less difficulty in finding them behind the bushes. Is there a way to make it so that they can more easily, particularly at night, regardless of whether it's open or closed, is there a way for law enforcement to efficiently, with a single vehicle with one person in it, actually find where the problem is? Because it seems like there's a lot of places to hide. I would highly recommend, if I may be so bold, putting in money for the cameras to go straight into the real-time intelligence center, because if there are patterns to what time certain graffiti artists come out, you might be able to arrange for things to be resolved with a discussion in person rather than always just coming out and cleaning it up afterwards. There's going to be dogs coming over there because, of course, the dog park is down a little ways. Might there be a dog relief area? Maybe something to think about in one of the little spots right there. I'm not going to address the cyclists except to say that I don't know if our city has put this in writing yet, but Burbank just arranged to change their code to make sure that bicycles also includes e-bikes, small motorcycles, anything that is basically wheels for transportation, as being something that is not permitted in the walking areas. Right? Quick question: who owns this portion of the river? I'm just curious. I know Army Corps manages it. In fact, I just met with them for about 4 hours the other day to look at areas of the LA River where there's a lot of vandalism and things like that. And so I didn't know, is the city of LA in that area? Flood control maybe is only a little piece of it. Just back to vandalism, solar panels, wiring, lights, all of that you can expect to be harvested for profit. And also, just a thought, on Zoo Drive there are paid sexual encounters that go on. I hope that would not be able to be conducted on the bridge, as it's kind of a family area. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Radley. As Eric mentioned, to answer one of your questions, the City of LA is a 99% owner of that entire property. Okay, on to the next speaker, Dwight Stone.
Hey, I don't have a whole ton. I work at Disney, so this is amazing for my commute, so thank you. I'm a big cyclist, and I love this. Everything that was said about sight lines, double down on that. The orange box bridge at the bottom end of the path, it just comes out flat, and it's like emerging from an alley. And I realize we should be slowing down going by there, but like there should be much better sight lines as you're approaching that intersection so you can see people going either direction. And then also, the way it's currently laid out, it looks like there are on-ramps so that it's easy to go south and then keep going south. But if you're going south and you want to head north, you're heading around a tight radius. So those are my two big things. And then other question, is it going to be easy enough to walk through the park area that pedestrians will actually be walking there, or will they take the path of least resistance and go on the bike path? Anyway, thank you very much. Love it.
Thank you. Up next is Stefan Meek.
Good evening, Stephen Meek here, and I'm so happy to see this thing moving forward. I've been involved with it for, I don't know, I feel like 2015, but it can't have been that long, I don't think. I only have a couple quick questions. You've done some beautiful work with the towers that look like trees and things. The bike racks need some thinking. I don't know if that was just something you put there, or if that's the design that you've actually chosen, but it would be nice to have something that was a little more decorative. And I wasn't sure about the placement. I assume it's on the bike path side, and doesn't impose on the walking side of the bridge. My other comment was the power for the bridge when it is lit. Is it coming from Glendale or from Los Angeles? And there are numerous, I'm going to say wind turbines that are small, decorative. There's all sorts of them all over Europe that could supply that power for these things, because I assume they'll be like LED and a lower wattage. But those are the questions I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, sure. You can go.
Just to address the bike path. So a lot of the furnishes that we showed, those are not by any means final yet. So we appreciate the feedback on that. In terms of locations, we're looking at having bike racks underneath the overlook section next to Zoo Drive, because that would provide a bit of cover in the event that it is raining, although I'm not sure many people will be biking while it's raining, but just in case. And then we're looking for opportunities for a rack on the Glendale side too. So the idea would be to have an ample amount of bike parking there.
And power will be coming from the Glendale side with a financial contribution from the City of LA. Okay, next speaker, Alec Bartrusov.
Good evening, Alec Bartrosov. I serve on the Transportation Commission as its chair, but I'm here as an individual. Just wanted to express my support. I think the last community meeting that I went to a few years ago was at Pacific Park. Maybe Stephen Meek was there with me several years ago. Just wanted to express my support for the project. I think this is something that's really very much needed in the community. As a transportation planner, I am concerned or curious about how the city plans to facilitate folks getting to the bridge and thereby going onto the LA River Path and beyond. I am concerned about the intersection that the bridge connects to. It's currently an all-way stop control intersection. There's multiple lanes coming in all directions. And I don't think that there's much stop compliance for drivers using that intersection. So I'd love to see some kind of perhaps a roundabout or a complete intersection that facilitates more pedestrian bicycle activity. I'm also curious what's going on with Flower, Sonora, and other streets that connect to the bridge. I think over a decade ago, when we did bike counts as a volunteer group, actually the intersection of Flower and Sonora was the most biked intersection in the entire city. So I know there's a lot of activity happening in the area. This is going to only add to that. So I just want to make sure that the facilities that connect to the bridge are just as safe as the bridge itself. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we can go to our online callers. Two callers. Okay, Mr. Patino, go ahead and patch them through.
First one is Monica on there now.
Monica, can you hear us?
I can. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Monica Campagna, and I live right next to the Riverwalk and enjoy it frequently, and I'm very excited about this project. Just calling to basically thank everyone who's worked on it. I wanted to compliment the architects, and I actually care for a elementary school campus that's right near there, and all of the plants. And I love your plant palette. I love your tree palette, and all of the various architectural features. I want to thank my fellow residents for all the good comments that they've made and all the things that Liz Radley brought up. Appreciate that. I have just a couple to add of my own. My mom's in a wheelchair, and we frequently do go to Riverwalk and walk it. And there's a connection issue before. This doesn't have to do with the bridge, but I'll just mention it now in case anyone here is hearing this that can do something about it. But there's where the path breaks and goes under the freeway. There's a dirt area, or you get to choose to go down a really steep dip and come back up. And my mom and her caretaker and myself, we kind of avoid going past the bridge for that reason. So it might be nice if we could pave the part that stays up above so that could continue, and theoretically we could keep going all the way down. I wanted to just mention there's a real fountain grass invasion over at the zoo area and also along San Fernando. So keep an eye out for the fountain grass coming into your beautiful plant plantings and try to get those out before they go crazy. And also just want to mention someone else had said that the area around the Narrows could use some plant rejuvenation. And I just want to tell the public that myself am volunteering along with other people in the city to try to help as volunteers to do some new plantings there. So we're hoping to make a proposal for that to do a little refresh there in conjunction with all of this beautiful work that you're doing. So thank you very much and have a good evening. Appreciate everything you do.
Thank you, Monica. And our next caller, Adrian.
Next caller is Dorothy on the air.
Dorothy, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, great. Just wanted to touch on couple things, some of which have already been touched on by other callers, the lighting and some of the things that have affected the 6th Street Bridge in terms of, why we can't have nice things. And I didn't see solar panels as part of the design. Hopefully there will be solar panels that the bridge can, they can provide shade and as well as a good deal of the power necessary for the lighting that could be incorporated. I couldn't see, because I'm watching on my mobile, if the plants outside of the trees are they all California natives that will be able to self-propagate and be somewhat self-sustaining once they establish themselves and possibly less likely to be stolen? And then in regards to the furniture, I know you said that it's not finalized yet. Those benches look lovely, and they would be a lot of fun for skateboarders to mess with and do tricks with, unfortunately. So just things hopefully you'll think about. so that it will stay as lovely, 2 months in or 2 weeks in after we open it as it is on the very first day. And I'll also double tap on the one speaker who mentioned visibility and coordinating with police in terms of places to hide and graffiti mitigation and discouraging that going on. But otherwise, it looks lovely. I spend a lot of time down at the LA River with a friend of mine who does fly fishing. And so having something really nice in that area for more than just fly fishing is going to be something to be proud of.
Thank you, Dorothy.
Thank you.
And I'll address the comment about solar. So we do have some solar lighting as part of the project. Not every light will be solar lit. The pathway lighting, the desire was to have those hardwired in, but there are some lights on bridge that we're looking at small solar fixtures for to power those. And then again, Dorothy and everybody else that has called in or stood up here, thank you for all the comments on potentials for graffiti, skateboarders, et cetera. We'll certainly look into deterrence as part of the final design.
Thanks, Eric. Adrian, do we have any more callers?
One more caller, Kathy, on the air.
Kathy, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you. I am a longtime resident, 26 years now, and I live in the area. And I actually believe that I attended one of the very first meetings, if the first meeting was in 2014. So I'm very excited, and I'm mainly calling to express my support. I'm not sure if others have also thanked the city for the Sonora Avenue traffic calming projects, because we do have access at the end of Garden Street to I don't remember what it's called, but the the bike path, and just knowing that we'll have increased traffic in this area, which I don't mind. I think it's great for this area to have increased business. But what one of the speakers earlier talked about was over on Flower, where I think the driver's donut at night as well. So definitely thinking about that. And then just really always thinking about pedestrians, because I'm a walker and I walk about 9,000 steps every day and all through the area. So I'm very excited. And especially for people in strollers and bikes, it'll increase access. When I had my daughter in a stroller and would try to get to the zoo, it was impossible. And I'm from Chicago. I am willing to walk miles, but it was really difficult. So thank you for all the work that you've done for this. I'm really excited. And then my one last question would be about just generally public transportation from this area, because again, we'll have increased traffic and such to the bridge. But right now it would take me like an hour to an hour and a half just to take a bus to downtown Glendale, whereas it takes me like 10 minutes to go to downtown Burbank. And so thinking about the lines of public transportation, also to offset maybe some of the increased traffic that the bridge will invite. And again, I'm not against it. I'm supportive of anything to elevate our neighborhood. So thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Adrian, do we have no more callers? Okay, thank you. Well, thank you to everybody who spoke and provided us with your comments and your questions and your feedback. We will be responding to it separately. I know we responded to some of those that were relatively easier and simpler to respond to immediately, so you guys are aware. But the remainder will be responded to accordingly to the best of our ability, with whatever we have developed thus far. And those comments will be those responses, along with the questions that were asked, will be posted on the project website, along with this presentation. So we welcome everybody to visit the project website again. It's very simple, gardenriverbridge.com, www.gardenriverbridge.com. And of course, if you have any further comments or any other questions come to mind throughout this process, you can email info@gardenriverbridge.com. That's info, I-N-F-O, @gardenriverbridge.com. So, so this concludes the community meeting. I'd like to thank Eric and his team, as well as the RLN team and our internal team, and thank all of you for coming. and providing us with your feedback and your comments. This concludes the meeting at 6:56 p.m. Thank you for joining us and have a great evening.
What you make of it? There's been some changes.